How long do employment lawsuits take in the state of California? Well, there's not always a good answer, but in this video, I'm going to describe all the factors that go into it, and then I'm going to give you my estimates based on the case type. What are the major factors that play into the length of a typical employment lawsuit in California? Here are a few of the big ones. First on our list is the strength of the case. If you've got great smoking gun evidence to prove that your employer discriminated against you because of your age or race or religion, or they didn't pay you proper overtime, then typically those cases settle faster because you've got great evidence. It's harder for them to fight. On the flip side, if you have a weaker case, they have more of an incentive to fight because they can decrease the value even more of that case. The size of the case is next up on our list. That really means the bigger your case, the longer it takes. Because the bigger your case, the more of a financial incentive the employer has to try to minimize the value of it. So multi-million-dollar cases typically last several years. The personality of the defense lawyer is huge. If the defense lawyer is a fire and brimstone, we're going to fight, we're never going to pay them a penny, those cases last a lot longer because they throw everything at you in order to try to decrease the value of your case or get your case thrown out. So the personality of the person you're opposing or the personality of the defense lawyer is huge. Now, this is something that most employees and plaintiffs don't think about, is literally court deadlines. Built into every lawsuit are the rules of civil procedure, literally deadlines set up by law that you have to comply with. You usually can't make the case go any faster than the deadlines that are set up, and often lawyers are asking each other for extensions in order to properly prosecute or defend against the case. There's a lot of professional courtesies that go into play in cases. Financial incentives of the defense lawyer, huge. Let's be real. Defense lawyers get paid by the hour, and the longer a case lasts, the more hours they have to dedicate to it, so the more money that they make. Sad, but true. How busy is your lawyer? This is huge. If your lawyer has got way too many cases and doesn't have time to dedicate to yours, or yours is a really small case and he or she has a bunch of high-value cases, unfortunately, your case is going to take longer than other ones. So it doesn't mean you want to go out and hire a lawyer with no cases, because that's not a good sign, but you want to pay attention to whether or not your lawyer has the infrastructure, time, and energy to devote to your case, because that will typically make it go faster. Okay, now that you know some of the factors that go into these cases, let me give you some of my personal estimates. If you've got a small case, small dollar value, under $100,000, and there's strong liability, meaning you've got great evidence to prove that case, typically those cases settle less than a year. But on the flip side, if you have a small case, but weak or decent proof or liability, those cases typically last more than a year. Okay, what if you've got a big case with great liability? You've got smoking gun evidence and you've got big dollar value associated with it. In my opinion, those typically take, and in my experience, between 1 to 2 years to litigate, settle, and get paid. But on the flip side, if you've got a big case and weak proof or decent proof at best, those cases take 1.5 to 2.5 years on average. Now, these are not perfect estimates. And if somebody's going to ask me, how long is my case going to take? And I don't know much about the case, I'll say usually between 1 to 2 years. But your case might be totally different. It might fall far out of one of these estimates. So it's not good to hang your hat on an estimate. And it's certainly not good to plan to get a settlement at all. If you've got an employment case, it's contingent by nature. You might not ever get a penny. So you should really think about your case in the sense of, I'm going to figure out what to do with my life in the meantime. I've got this lawsuit and maybe someday I'll get something out of it, but I'm going to trust my lawyer in the process. That is the most productive way to approach these lawsuits. I hope this video has been helpful. Take care.